Hello there, I'm Steve from Mac84, and today we're going on a road trip. But where are we going, and why are we going there, and who did I meet there? Well, stay tuned because all of those questions and more will be answered in this video. So a few days ago, I was on my phone just casually browsing through marketplace ads because I need more computers like I need a hole in the head, and I came across this intriguing listing. The listing showed a sea of CRT monitors and a whole stack of computers. It was pretty hard to determine exactly what was there, but the description did state that there was a little bit more than meets the eye, because a lot of the boxed items did not actually match the boxes that they were in. However, this got me thinking, well, what exactly was there? Was there the 19-inch monitors that were listed on these boxes? Were there maybe smaller monitors, or was there a diamond in the rough? I was very curious about this, so I decided to message one of my friends who was a bit closer to that listing. Your friend and mine, BOS enthusiast, Mr. Action Retro himself. So I messaged Sean and said, hey, take a look at this listing. Do you want to go check it out? And he said, yes. So we made plans to visit, and I made the trek from New Jersey to somewhere outside of Philadelphia. My goodness, were there a lot of monitors at this place. A lot of boxed monitors, a lot of sad-looking monitors, but a lot of monitors. Apparently this was leftover stock or a buyout from a government or a business institution or something like that. All the hard drives have been removed from the computers. A lot of the monitors didn't really match what was inside of the boxes because things were just packed up probably in a rush. But there was a lot to see here. There was a lot of stuff to dig through because, maybe it might not match what was on the label, or the computer that you're looking at might have a different one underneath it. But by and large, what was there were NEC branded monitors and NEC branded computers. Now, I originally went with the intent of picking up a monitor or two, but I was strangely drawn to these low-profile Pentium 2 systems. I didn't need another Pentium 2 system, but I don't know, there was just something about that vertical floppy drive that drew me in. Sean and I looked through the stacks of computers and they were mostly the same, although I did spot one curious difference. I turned a stack of these systems around and I saw a Pentium 3 sticker. I thought all of these were Pentium 2s, but upon closer inspection, I saw something even better. A super disk drive. If you've seen my recent compact videos, you know I've been a little bit obsessed with super disk drives lately. Maybe this one will work, but this was a Pentium 3 system with a DVD-ROM drive and a super disk drive with the floppy drive on the side too. And there were only two of these, so I gave one to Sean and I picked one up myself, but that was a surprising find. I thought all of these would be Pentium 2s. I did end up picking up a Pentium 2 system as well because I thought, well, maybe if the power supply doesn't work in the Pentium 3, I could mix and match them or something like that. But Sean went digging through the pile again and ended up with something quite special. That's a chunky one.
It rattles.
This was some Zenith mini tower type computer. Maybe it was a server or something like that. It screamed Sean, so he just had to have it, and it looked pretty cool. I decided to take a peek at the corner where he found that, and I saw another Zenith PC. This one was a bit different, and I loved the case design of this thing. It almost reminded me of like a Next computer. It was very simplified. There was just the floppy disk drive on the front of it. Also, there seemed to be an Apple-style AAUI jack on the back of it, which was interesting, and there seemed to be a slot for a SCSI card, which unfortunately was not present. However, we opened up the machine, and there was a battery, but it did not leak, and Sean ended up taking this one home. Now, besides those, it appeared that the rest of the machines were NEC PowerMates or NEC Enterprise computers, and they all appeared to be, at least the rest of them, Pentium 2 systems. Now, I had made my mind up that I wanted at least one or two monitors to bring home. One that looked pretty good, and then one that maybe I could use for parts. But I was pretty much spoiled for selection here. There were tons of monitors available. Now again, these monitor boxes don't necessarily match what's inside. This is likely because when the monitors were being packed up, they were probably packing them up with new replacement monitor boxes that they had. Now the seller did tell us that a few previous people had come by and they did find some different size monitors and different series monitors inside of those boxes. Some of the stuff was off limits, but there still was plenty to look at. Unfortunately, like most basements, especially with the recent weather we've been having, there was a lot of dampness and moisture in the area, so a lot of the boxes, especially on the bottom, were soft or crushed or very wet. I obviously wanted to be respectful of the seller, and I didn't want to, move things around or make a mess out of things, but I also wanted to get a monitor that was not sitting in a damp box. After rummaging through the boxes for a bit, there seemed to be 3 main NEC CRT monitors that I was finding. One of these monitors was the traditional kind with a curved glass on the front, where the other 2 at least seemed to be flat screen CRT monitors, which are sometimes more desirable depending on your preference. Now, I didn't know the specifications of these monitors or which one might have been slightly better than the other, but what I was really looking for was one that was in good condition, so I ended up picking up a few that looked to be in pretty good shape. So I brought my items to the car, paid for them, and headed on my way home. Big thanks to Sean for coming along with me on this adventure. So let's take a look at what I got and if any of it works. Oh boy! Oh, that's a big old monitor. This is an NEC MultiSync FE700 Plus, and boy is it a chunky one. I believe this is a 17-inch monitor with about 16 viewable inches. It looks to be in great shape. It does have a flat glass screen, and we're going to see if it works. I have my MacBook here with a VGA adapter, and there may be some flickering images and stuff. If the monitor does work, I'll adjust the camera, but let's give it a go here. And 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, that is beautiful. All right, that's not good. Poor little monitor. Well, it doesn't seem to be 100% happy, so let's turn this off for now. You know what? I think this adapter may be the problem. Let's try this with a period-appropriate computer. It would help if I had the lights on, wouldn't it? Oh boy. I love this little glowing multi-sync thing where it shows orange when there is no signal, and then it shows green when it has gotten a signal. Oh, look at that. This poor computer, the fans sound awful, so I apologize for that noise. My friend RetroFox picked this up for me, and it needs some love and care. But it was within grabbing distance, so that's what we're dealing with today. I hope the camera is picking this up because it is a beautiful display. Looks like we have a bunch of pictures from the internet here, which is concerning, but hey, we have some Firefly photos. These should be the best in the verse, right? I mean, the color on this display is really good. The brightness is too. Looks like we have a menu here. Oh yeah, there we go. Brightness and contrast. Contrast is boosted all the way up. What other options we have? Okay, we have some color profiles, some alignment, factory reset. Oh, a canceller. That's interesting. I think it's the first monitor I've ever had with that. A lot of options here. Display mode. Okay. Monitor info. Not too bad it doesn't tell us the amount of hours that have been on this thing. Let's reduce the contrast a bit. Let's put it like 50-50. Oh yeah. That's looking pretty good. I guess we'll have to use these Firefly photos as a good calibration point for our colors, but it looks pretty good to me. And I think we're going to give this system a rest because this tower is making sad noises. But this monitor is just absolutely beautiful. There's a few cosmetic imperfections here and there, but really, it looks to be in great shape. Here we have 2 NEC Pentium systems. They're both PowerMate 8100 models, but this one has a Pentium 3 and this one has a Pentium 2. So I'm curious if any of these work. We'll try one at a time and see what happens. Now don't worry, I'm not doing a huge deep dive on this machine, but I do want to see what the condition of it is inside of it, and maybe we'll give it a power on test. There we go. So I'm not a PC expert, but this is obviously a Pentium 2 system. The capacitors seem to be okay. There's a bunch of chunky ones up there. We have 2 memory sticks installed, and those appear to be, well, these don't have a label on them, but some of the other ones we pulled said they were 64 megs each, so there was a total of 128 megabytes of memory. This is a Pentium 2. I'm gonna guess this is maybe like a 300 megahertz or something like that. We do have a network card installed, and it does seem to have this little pigtail for some reason. That's pretty neat, I guess. And that seems to be a 200 watt power supply. And we have a floppy drive and a CD-ROM drive of some sort. Now the hard drive is missing, and that looks like some of the screws are flying around in here, so let's get those out. But even without the hard drive, we should be able to see if this thing turns on. That power supply is probably the thing I'm most worried about, but I guess we could just plug it in and see what happens. I have to admit, the little holographic sticker on that processor is kind of neat. It smells kind of mildewy, and I don't know if I should be turning this thing on, but I guess there's no sign of water damage on the case, unless I'm missing it. All right, I do have my breakaway power cord, so in case something goes boom, I can pull it away pretty quickly. So let's plug it in. Something is making weird noises, but it did turn on, so that's great. Probably the fan on the power supply, because that almost sounded like a hard drive, but I know it wasn't. Let's do that again. Oh no, that's the fan on the processor that's making all that noise. My goodness. Well, I guess let's plug in a monitor and we'll at least be able to see the specifications of this machine. Now, although it's very dirty and dusty, I did pick up one of the keyboards for this system as well. So it's really neat to have the keyboard, the monitor, and the computer back together once again. Just a warning again, there will be some flashing images, so if you're sensitive to that, you might want to sit out this part of the video. So let's turn the monitor on and plug the computer in. Oh, I love that NEC logo. Oh, it's so appropriate. Okay, it's a Pentium 2, 350 megahertz with 63 megabytes or 64 megabytes of memory. We do have some errors. That's to be expected. That CMOS battery is long dead. But with an OS, I'm sure this thing would work great. So let's try the other system. All right, let's try this Pentium 3 behemoth, which unfortunately has all of its feet missing and there's sticky rubber goo on the bottom, so we'll put down some paper to hopefully not mess up our desk. It's a bit yellowed, but hopefully this one works. There is quite a lot of dust inside. We have a similar AGP video card, but no VRAM expansion slot. We have 2 memory modules, and I'm not sure of the speed of this Pentium 3 processor, but we're about to find out. Let's view that post information. 550 megahertz Pentium 3 with, I'm going to guess, 128 megabytes of memory. 127, close enough. We have our LS120 drive, our DVD-ROM drive. The keyboard is detected. Let's enter setup. Yeah, it's unhappy about a lot of things, but there we go. This one works too. Fantastic. Well, I'd say that was worth the trip. This monitor is simply gorgeous, and it's in great shape, and I hope the other one I picked up is in good shape as well. And I'm very happy that both of these computers appear to power on, so we'll just have to put a hard drive in those and we could tinker around with those another day. Now, if you're watching this in January of 2024, I will put the link to that advertisement where I did find these in the video description. There are plenty available. Just be kind and courteous. I'm sure this person is getting a lot of inquiries about these things, so be patient and hopefully you could find a good deal. But that's about it for today. Don't forget you can get your Mac 84 merch like this shirt at shop.mac84.net. A link will be in the video description. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that fun stuff. But that's about it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you right here next time on Mac 84.